Jake Paul has checked Mike Tyson at a live public interview, giving him a savage admonition. The profoundly expected battle between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul has lighted a firestorm of discussion with the two fans and investigators addressing whether Tyson is fit to step into the ring, perhaps. The most intense voice in resistance is previous UFC star Chael Sonnen, who has encouraged authorities to intercede and drop the match, referring to worries over Tyson's ongoing well-being battles. The contention around the match escalated when Tyson confronted a serious medical problem in May, only weeks before. The battle was at first set to happen while on a flight. He experienced a difficult eruption of a stomach ulcer, provoking him to briefly pull out and push the session to a later date. Even following a 5-month delay, stresses over Tyson's well-being stay a focal point in the news. Sonnen, communicating worry for the ex-support Prosperity, has asked the Texas branch of Permitting and Guideline to step in, repudiate Tyson's permit, and cancel the match. In a new Instagram post, Sonnen shared his interests, conceding he wasn't totally sure about Tyson's ailment, yet focused on its reality. Taking note of it was sufficiently grave to drive the previous boss off the plane and into a wheelchair, he scrutinized the TDLR, expressing, "There's no assertion, no reaction, not so much as a doubt from the directing commission to rethink this battle." Sonnen likewise scrutinized Tyson's status for the battle. Was Mike preparing after that? Did this give him 5 additional months to plan for Jake Paul? He pondered, recommending that the well-being alarm could have ruined Tyson's readiness. Sonnen related how Tyson owned up to confronting portability challenges after the occurrence, yet consoled fans that he'd return to original capacity inside a couple of months. Mike pulled out. "Was it a heart assault or a stroke? Something intense? I can't remember precisely," Swan said, underlining his concern. The ex-UFC warrior featured that Tyson, given his age, is wrestling with a regular decay of his actual capacities, though Jake Paul, still in his athletic prime, keeps on leveling up his abilities with each battle, regardless of coming up short on every one of the subtleties, like the way that his previous UFC partner Mike Perry stepped in for Tyson against Paul. Sonnen still cast out on the previous Top Dogs presentation. He said, "I don't have the foggiest idea how Mike would have done that against Paul, with only 2 months staying until the battle. One thing is clear, the contention gives no indications of blurring, and banters about whether Tyson ought to step into the ring will continue to flood web-based entertainment as the eagerly awaited day gravitates toward. In the meantime, the expectation for the impending confrontation between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson strengthened for this present week when Paul was spotted raising what appeared to be phony loads while unfolded in a fat suit. This particular trick appeared is by all accounts an energetic poke at Tyson, who recently named Paul as fat and out of control in a class that is surprised. Virtual entertainment. Paul, who flaunts about sidelining 500 pounds, is seen lifting guard loads that look fundamentally lighter than his cases propose. The exceptionally broadcasted battle is still on target, drawing in developing media premium. In a new appearance on Jimmy Kimmel's show, Tyson was tested about his trust in overcoming Paul. The previous heavyweight champion sincerely answered severely. Yet again, the utilization of a fat suit in the trick has ignited banter over the degree to which the occasion is arranged for diversion esteem. No matter what the vain behaviors, the is expected to be a critical live scene, with Netflix purportedly assuming a part in its transmission. Fans are humming with hypothesis, contemplating whether the battle will finish in a humorous execution or a definitive misfortune for Paul. Tyson, known for his surprising exhibitions in prior coordinates, especially his presentation with Roy Jones Jr., keeps on being a strong power in the ring. As expectation constructs, fans are as eager and anxious as can be anxious to observe the exhilarating display that lies ahead. Additionally, Jake Paul is competing without enjoying any cash. In a video with Complex's Joe Lama at Arena Products in New York, Paul nonchalantly referenced that he'll shake the most costly battle shorts ever, with the entire outfit estimated at a cool $1 million. That is one method for battling in style. Paul is collaborating with a shoe specialist to make his search for the enthusiastically anticipated match already. He unfolded a $100,000 troop highlighting custom-tailored Travis Scott X Air Jordan 1 boxing boots matched with a striking high-contrast coat. This isn't the primary occasion of Paul meaning to outperform the $1 million imprint for his boxing gear. He referenced that his shorts for the rematch against Tyrone Woodley would be esteemed at roughly $1.2 million. Paul's karma proceeded when he crushed the previous UFC champion by means of 6th-round knockout in the shorts. Paul and Tyson are scheduled to confront each other on November 15th at Ant Arena. This matchup was at first booked for July 20th, yet a ulcer issue that emerged for Tyson in May required the delay, this denotes. Tyson's originally endorsed bout starting around 2005. His latest ring appearance was a show session against Roy Jones Jr. in November, 20,120. Paul flaunts a great 10-1 records in his expert boxing vocation. His most recent triumph came on July 20th at Amal Field in Tampa, Florida, where he crushed Mike Perry by technical knockout after Tyson couldn't contend that day. Mike Tyson faces a critical test as he outfits to fight Jake Paul, the YouTube sensation turned proficient fighter in the lead up to this eagerly awaited match. Iron Mike is tossing punches at his Cleveland-conceived rival via web-based entertainment you may be interested about. How this ties into Hollywood legends, however, here's the story as he prepares for his profoundly expected match on November 15th at Arlington's at Tant Arena. The baddest man on earth has been giving bits of knowledge into his preparation and day-to-day existence through his YouTube series Behind the Mic. In a new episode, Mike was spotted partaking in a presentation by the unbelievable performer David Blaine in Las Vegas while shooting the behind scenes episode. Tyson suddenly encountered the famous Al Pacino and his accomplice Noah Alayla amidst the clamoring green room. Alayla asked about Tyson's impending battle with the issue kid, though without reviewing Paul's name. Inquisitive, Alayla asked Tyson, "Stand by Mike. Who are you battling? You're battling one of those young men." Right, while Paul is well known, it seems his ubiquity hasn't arrived at the Hollywood elites yet. In any case, I'll follow reminded Tyson, "You better win later." Tyson took the clasp of this trade and shared it on his X record, attacking Paul's prevalence. Jake Paul, I think she implies you as Battle Night moves toward the volatile exchange among Tyson and Paul is warming up, making way for what could be a blockbuster debut for Netflix in the not-so-distant future. Strangely, Mike Tyson himself conceded that he had no clue about who Jake Paul was before he consented to take on the test on September 20th, 2024. The heavyweight con elegance, the what will be web recording sharing an unforeseen disclosure. He had no clue about who Jake Paul was for. Setting Paul had recently battled on the undercard of the profoundly plugged display match between Mike Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., where he acquired consideration by taking out previous NBA player Nate Robinson. Pondering their experience during his presentation Retaliate in 2020, Tyson said, "I didn't have the foggiest idea who on earth he was, but at this point that Tyson has been able to realize the previous Disney star. He guaranteed he's improved since he began. Anyway, Paul hasn't worked on enough for Tyson, who added, "I began him, and it seems as though I will complete him." As the commencement to their cross-generational standoff ticks down to under 2 months, Mike Tyson and Jake Paul stay anxious to quickly jump all over each opportunity to toss pokes, both in the ring and with their words. The previous heavyweight champion has devoted the previous year to extraordinary preparation for his rebound to the ring and the run-up to his battle on November 15th. Tyson examined what a typical day in his life resembles these days in a meeting on Jimmy Kimmel Live. On September 23rd, Tyson said, "I'm preparing very hard. I start at 11 o'clock. What's more, I could leave the rec center at 5 o'clock. He recognized he has some time off during the day and fluctuates the sorts of exercises he does all through the 6-hour range. After I wrap up doing my boxing, I get a back rub for an hour, and afterward I go directly into strength and molding," he said. Tyson, a notable promoter for Pod, has recently talked about what the plan has meant. His preparation routine anyway. He uncovered recently that he had chosen to swear off both smoking and to upgrade his concentration for a forthcoming battle. When Kimmel asked about his ongoing pot use, Tyson answered that he has enjoyed it, yet not of late. Kimmel inquired as to whether he wanted to be high for the Paul battle. The winner joked, "I will be so high off life," as the crowd cheered when Kimmel attempted to explain, assuming he'd be high on Mary Jane. Tyson admitted that his plausible two-pot isn't the sole substance that is added to his match planning. During a new appearance on the Rash digital broadcast with Jake Paul's sibling Logan, Tyson uncovered that psilocybin mushrooms have fundamentally improved his exercises at the rec center. Tyson said, "I need to take them when I train. I generally train with my mushrooms. I train on mushrooms since I feel wonderful. It takes me to Paradise Child." Mike Tyson has recognized that there's an opportunity he may be impaired when he ventures into the ring in his retirement. Iron Mike has gained notoriety for embracing pot and different substances in any event, laying out his own pot farm and sending off a line of CBD items from the outset. Kimmel communicated his trust in the previous heavyweight champion's capacity to win over the issue kid who brags An expert record 10 was won anyway. He tested Tyson about his cannabis utilize, addressing whether it assumed a part in his preparation routine. Tyson answered genuinely, "Not actually. I have smoked yet, not at any point in the near future." Tyson uncovered that he has been devoting however much 6 hours every day to his preparation routine for this battle. He unhesitatingly proposed that it would be smart for Kimmel to put a bet on him winning against Jake Paul. The matchup has drawn huge reaction from the two fans and examiners, to a great extent because of Tyson's long non-appearance from proficient battling since his knockout loss to Kevin McBride in 2005 at almost 60 years of age. He is beyond 2 times Jake Paul's age. In spite of this analysis, Tyson stays unfazed, persuaded he disapproves of Paul. He noticed that he got Jake Paul going, suggesting Paul's appearance on the undercard of Tyson's presentation match against Roy Jones Jr. in 2020. Tyson has consequently expressed, "I've concluded that I began him, and presently I will complete him in this specific battle. He needs to go." Jake Paul's process has developed essentially since his appearance on the undercard of the Mike Tyson vs. Roy Jones Jr. session in November 2020. During that occasion, he went head-to-head against Nate Robinson, protecting a definitive triumph with a knockout in the second round. Since that session, Paul has cut out a striking standing in the domain of expert boxing, hoarding an amazing record of 10 successes and just a single misfortune. His honors incorporate critical victories over notable MMA figures. For example, Anderson Silva, Nate Diaz, and Tyrone Woodley. In his impending test, the ex-Disney star is set to go head-to-head off against Tyson on November 15th at Ant Arena in Arlington, Texas. The Battle Sports People group has communicated a hesitance to completely uphold this session to a great extent because of Tyson's age and well-being concerns. Anyway, the 58-year-old boxing not entirely set in stone to move toward the battle with gravity, expressing that he expects to stop Paul's boxing desires during a new appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live. Tyson talked about the chance of a battle with Jake Paul, referencing that he was currently 60 years of age, while Paul was just 27. He made sense of that he had offered Paul a chance by permitting him to battle on the very card as his session with Roy Jones, and commented that since he had begun Paul's vocation, he planned to complete it too.